Bitcoiners holding up Steak and Shake while McDonald's is drowning and Wendy's is at the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the pool. But I just think that this is a good, I think this is a good indication of what's coming here. I really do. And, I don't know how far I want to go into this because there's a lot to kind of consider with it. But if you just think about it this way, So you got Steak and Shake there who has adopted Bitcoin. They have been accepting Bitcoin for almost a year now. And they just announced recently that they're going to be holding a portion of their Bitcoin. No, actually all of it. I think they said every SAT that they receive from sales is going into their treasury, which is kind of cool, like 100% of it. And they're also donating 210 SATs from every sale to OpenSats, which funds open source development within Bitcoin, Nostr, and other freedom tech. And that's Steak and Shake. And they've seen a 15% increase in their sales store to store compared to their industry because they started accepting Bitcoin. And so you have this dynamic of not only restaurants and stores that start accepting Bitcoin getting more traction because Bitcoiners, right? If you got a choice between two restaurants and one accepts Bitcoin and one doesn't, you're probably going to go the one that does. But that's kind of only a temporary thing because now with Square basically unlocking for anybody who turns it on, being able to accept Bitcoin, that one's kind of minor. But the big one here is that Steak and Shake is going to be building a treasury, a solid foundation for the new economy. And all these other stores like McDonald's, who's heavily reliant on their real estate, which real estate is extremely overvalued right now, which means that McDonald's is extremely overvalued right now itself. But the other thing about that too is that McDonald's has been kind of known as like a cheap alternative for people, for families, right? And so when you're a cheap option for families, that means you have to keep your prices low, which means that as inflation is going on, you can't really do anything about that. So what do you have to do? You have to reduce the quality of your food. You have to decrease the quality of your inputs. So that's had a huge effect on just the overall quality of McDonald's for the last decade or two. Like I'm sure if you looked at a McDonald's burger in 2025 and a McDonald's burger in 1995, they would be two completely different burgers, even though they're franchised and like cookie cutter, same ingredients every restaurant. They would actually be much different because the 2025 version would be the end of the fiat world version of it. So McDonald's is going to have to basically keep reducing their quality to maintain that same kind of price point. Otherwise, they're going to price out all their customers. Their customers aren't going to be able to afford a $20 cheeseburger. They just can't. That's not who they are. They appeal to a very, I wouldn't say lower demographic of income earners, but like there's rich people that eat at McDonald's, don't get me wrong. But I'd say the main demographic for McDonald's are people who can't afford a better meal, which is sad, but that's kind of where it is right now. And so essentially McDonald's is going to get further and further into that, where they have to keep not only increasing their prices, but decreasing their food quality. And if you compare that to something like Steak and Shake, who's building their foundation on Bitcoin, they're going to actually be able to increase the quality of their products and their service and their restaurant and all that because they're building their foundation on Bitcoin. And so not only are they going to be able to weather the storms when things are good and bad because they have that foundation, but they're actually going to be able to increase their quality while Wendy's, McDonald's, everybody else who's still in a fiat standard is going to have to continue to decrease their quality. That's the difference here. And this isn't just for restaurants. This is going to be every company on the planet is going to go through this exact same thing. The companies who adopt Bitcoin, who start storing their profits in Bitcoin, are going to be the ones that succeed because they're going to be able to increase their quality while everybody else's quality is falling. And with that kind of dynamic, because they have higher quality products, they're going to get more business. The demand for those businesses are going to go up. So this is just kind of like the early days of this trend here that's going to continue to happen, where fiat businesses are going to sink and Bitcoin businesses are going to rise because of that. So I thought this was a very good meme to kind of illustrate what's going on macro, and it's not going to slow down. It's going to accelerate.